Say?
You are the man.
Ready to take out the garbage. Good to see you guys. Love you, brother. We took out some trash today. Good luck. Good to see you. We got some real trash. Good to see you, man. How are you?
Very good, very good.
Good to see you. How are you? Good to see you.
You got trash.
Thank you. Yeah, we had some fun with this today.
Horrible. Very horrible.
Yeah. Personally, what did that mean to you?
I felt disrespected.
If there's one thing that we can do, we're about 6 days away from being in a position to do it. Okay? If there's one thing we can do to make life better for you and people who drive garbage trucks across this country, what is that going to be for you?
Keep the prices down.
Okay. You think we can do that? Yeah, we can do that. We promise you, man. You put us in there, we're going to get that job done. This man's been a great soldier. Give him a round of applause. Everything else. Leo's a good man, but
yes, even the mainstream media is acknowledging that Trump knows how to keep news for himself. Just imagine this latest stunt. Democrat could not imagine that he could do that, pulling up in a garbage truck. Okay, today everybody will be talking about this, tomorrow the same thing, so you will understand that politics is not really how people think. Just responding to normal things like this with simple actions. This is how it is done. Look at how joyful he's responding to them by not calling them names. When I look at the whole campaign, Trump has actually changed interacting with people like a normal person. That is how it is. I really appreciate this move. When I look at the whole thing, Democrats don't know how to respond to issues. They just know how to, oh, he's a fascist, he's this, triggering the issue over and over.
Chris, it just annoys the hell out of me. Right? I understand the politics. David is absolutely right. I get it. But these are folks who think that they can say anything. They can behave in the most horrifying ways. They can degrade and demean communities. They can scapegoat Haitians in Springfield. They can call entire communities, right, murderers and the like. And then when someone calls them, on what they're saying, they clutch their damn pearl. And it's part of this ongoing grievance that somehow the rest of the country looks down on them. And so it feeds into that logic. I understand the politics. I understand what Vice President Harris has to say. But these folk think they can say and do anything and be as insulting and as mean-spirited as they want to be. And when they're called out about it, they clutch their pearls. It's a kind of hypocrisy that's mind-numbing. And it rhetorically handcuffs us. We don't need to call people deplorables or despicable or garbage, but we need to call them out on their nonsense and their hatred.
Taking a look at this man, you can clearly see that this is how they respond. By going off on air, Trump did a good thing by responding to them because it relates to a certain group of voters. That is how it should be. The mainstream media will actually say things contrary to that.
Today, nearly 60 million votes have already been cast in early in-person voting and through the mail. And the latest polls suggest the race could not be tighter. Both campaigns are locking their focus on the battleground states. Vice President Kamala Harris rallied in North Carolina and Pennsylvania today and is in Wisconsin tonight. Former President Donald Trump was in North Carolina earlier and tonight is also in Wisconsin. He landed in Green Bay just a short time ago and then pulled this campaign stunt, speaking to reporters from a garbage truck, proof that he and his supporters are giving no grace to a gaffe by President Biden, where he, in his explanation, inadvertently called Trump supporters garbage. This, of course, was in response to that racist joke about floating garbage told at a Trump rally just last weekend. Vice President Harris is distancing herself from the negativity and trying to drive home her unifying message that if elected, she will represent all Americans.
Stand by for a moment. Trump is answering some questions.
CNN senior political data reporter Harry flagged several signs indicating that former President Trump may defeat Vice President Kamala Harris in the presidential elections on Wednesday, even going so far as to call it an obvious outcome. Hilton joined CNN anchor John Barman to break down the factors working in Trump's favor just days out from the elections. Hilton also teased that he would try to make a similar argument for the other side in a segment later this week, extremely concerning.
Just 28% of Americans, voters, think the country is going in the right direction, is on the right track. And I want you to put that into a historical perspective for you. Okay, what's the average percentage of the public that thinks that the country is on the right track when the incumbent party loses? It's 25%. That 25% looks an awful bit like that 28% up there. It doesn't look anything like this 42% doesn't look anything like this 28%. So the bottom line is, very few Americans think the country is on the right track at this particular point. It tracks much more with when the incumbent party loses than with it wins. In fact, I went back through history. There isn't a single time in which 28% of the American public thinks the country is going on the right track in which the incumbent party actually won. They always lose when just 28% of the country believes that the country is on the right track.
It is you are swimming upstream. If you're trying to win in this environment. Registration numbers, Harry.
Yeah, Republicans have been registering voters in big, huge numbers. They have been gaining in party registration versus the Democrats in the swing states with party registration. We're talking Arizona. I think it's a 5-point. They've expanded their lead from 5 points from where it was back in 2020. How about Nevada? Big Republican registrations there. They like the early vote. How about North Carolina? Big Republican registration gains. How about Pennsylvania? We spoke about it before a few months ago. Big Republican Party registration gains versus from where they were 4 years ago. So Republicans are putting more Republicans in the electorate. The Democratic number versus the Republican number has shrunk. And so the bottom line is, if Republicans win come next week, Donald Trump comes next week, the signs all along will have been obvious. We would look at the right direction being very low, Joe Biden's approval rating being very low, and Republicans really registering numbers. You can't say you weren't warned.
Again, this is the data which supports the idea of a Trump victory.
Yes, though I don't believe in polls, when you take a look at what he put out here, it clearly tells you a lot of people are concerned with the direction in which the country is moving, like the economy, inflation, things like that. But when I watch some of these videos, like you saw people giving reasons why if Kamala doesn't win, oh, this is what I would do, I'll be depressed. Ask them, why are you voting for Kamala? The kind of reason they always outline extremely concerning. Some don't even have reason. Some will tell you it's because she is a woman president. They want her to break a record, things like that. And I don't believe that if you see people saying the country is not moving in the right direction, they're lying. It is the truth. These are people who do research or who experience what is happening. They vote with their conscience. So they now weigh the two candidates to see who will favor them.
President Biden made his comments seemingly describing Trump supporters as, quote, garbage. The Harris campaign is trying to downplay the effect of those comments. Of course they are. But I wonder if you think that those comments are going to move voters.
It's going to be huge because this is not some comedian saying something stupid and offensive at a rally where he should have been basically disinvited. This is the President of the United States endorsing his vice president, saying something. And I know that there's different interpretations about what he said. It's still inappropriate. You still shouldn't be doing it. And I've watched Trump already seize this. The basket of deplorables was significant, was meaningful in 2016. In 2024, I can promise you that this is going to drive Trump turnout. He's doing it already. I can see, I'm sure there's going to be ads on as soon as tonight about this.
I understand that these people are melting down after this Biden comment. Even Kamala herself is not happy about that comment. It has been done. Trump will continue to put this to me. We have seen Beyonce losing followers after Kamala endorsement, and she is involved in a lot of controversies. Like it's this situation now. Jennifer Lopez took a decision like to endorse Kamala. And I'm hearing that Jennifer Lopez will be campaigning with Kamala in the days ahead. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow.
Now, I never noticed before and make me go, whoa.
You know, Whoopi, you always say you don't believe in polls.
Throw a birthday party for Diddy.
Hey, you're calling yourself.
If you are over 18, please register to vote.
What he does at age 71 is having a bit of trouble tearing off his shirts. Trump may not have had a Beyonce or Bruce Springsteen like his opponent did, but he was able to book a Hulk Hogan who